The most exciting thing about a new Smash Bros. Game is the roster predictions. Who will make it back? Who will get cut? Which third-party characters will everyone get excited for? I've been following roster predictions for Smash since Smash 4 came out, and my jaw absolutely hit the floor when they announced Mewtwo was coming back. I legit teared up when they brought Pichu back from Melee for Ultimate. The excitement is part of what makes a new Smash Bros. Game so thrilling. Now Fraymakers, on the other hand, I see maybe 2 people talking about it at a time. There is no hype for predicting the Fraymakers roster, and quite frankly I think that's disappointing. Huge crossover games like Fraymakers need to build a hype train if they want to succeed upon arrival. As of the writing of this script, The Watcher, Fishboujon, Octodad, Commander Video, Orcane, and Woltaro have all been announced for the game. But who else has the potential to put Fraymakers on the map? Well, my friend, let me welcome you to MC Hawaii's Fraymaker roster predictions. For simplicity's sake, I will not be including Shovel Knight or Ori and Scene due to them already making it to the Rivals roster. Truth be told, they realistically could just copy and paste those characters into Fraymakers and it'd be perfect. Anyways, let's get on with my first pick. Recently I've been on a platformer kick. I've been playing through Mario 64 on the DS, and it's really got my blood pumping for a high-speed and adorable little platformer called A Hat in Time. Hat Kid would be an excellent addition to Fraymakers. Moveset-wise, Hat Kid could have a dash attack that jumps her upwards whenever she hits an opponent, leading to some potentially sick combos. My pitch for her is to give her a wheel to decide which hat she wants to put on, similar to Malo's little wheel in Rivals of Aether. Each hat does something different. Her sprint hat makes her sprint, her ice hat turns her into ice, and lands like a ton of brick akin to Kirby's rock. Her potion hat is a projectile. Her fox hat mask thing lets her stand on additional platforms that can be used for recovery mix-ups. And her time stop hat does exactly that, stops time. I think it'd be really cool to see a character like Hat Kid have that kind of gimmick. You could have a hat for each different type of playstyle. You like to zone? Use the potion hat. You like to whiff punish? I guess you're using the time stop hat then. You could also give her a grappling hook as a recovery like she uses in-game. Her umbrella is her normal boring attacks, and boop, you have yourself a complete fighting game character. I genuinely hope that Hat Kid gets in as a playable character. Personally, A Hat in Time is my favorite platformer out there. It has a lot of charm, fun gameplay, and a good sense of humor. I often still think about the game despite playing it over a year ago. The game just means a lot to me, so it'd be nice to see it get some kind of representation outside of its franchise. Hat Kid for Fraymakers. I'ma be honest. For this next fighter, I don't really know a whole lot about them. I haven't played the game before, so I won't be able to put together the perfect moveset, but I understand the importance and what they mean to indie games as a whole. Being hailed as one of the best indie games of all time, a gorgeous spawn of the Metroidvania genre, the Knight from Hollow Knight is an absolute necessity when we are talking about roster picks for Fraymakers. I see this little guy everywhere. He was many people's primary picks for getting into Smash Ultimate, and he's easily one of the biggest indie game characters of all time. He's a shoo-in full of potential as a character. His dare could be similar to Shovel Knight's dare in Rivals, being able to stay in air as many times as he hits his dare. His specials could be related to some kind of meter that lets him fire off projectiles. It could also function like a combo meter. The more hits you get in a combo, the better your special move becomes in that combo. I'm sure that there is a lot from the source game that I could put in here for moveset potential, but again, I haven't just played the game before. The guy just looks cool. Hollow Knight for Fraymakers. Spark the Electric Jester is absolutely, without a doubt, my #1 pick for Fraymakers. He is your favorite indie game's favorite indie game. High-octane platforming, actual combat, and unique and entertaining boss fights. I played this game for the first time in March of 2023, and it has been on my mind ever since. With 3 games under his belt, and probably more to come, Spark the Electric Jester is set to take the indie world by storm. Truth be told, I've only played one of the games, the original game specifically, so I don't know what inspiration they could pull from in regards to the franchise as a whole. But what I do know is you have a unique opportunity to create a character in the platform fighter genre that resembles Kirby. Think about it. There is no other plat fighter like Kirby. He sucks you up, takes your ability, then he uses it against you. Why not give Spark here the same thing, just a bit more streamlined? That way you wouldn't need to give Spark a unique ability for each character. Instead, just give him a similar ability. He yoinks Captain Video's power and bam, now he's Wind Jester. He yoinks Orcane's power and boom, he's now a Cool Jester. It's not a one-to-one thing, of course, but at the very least it would make for some cool synergy with workshop characters. I know he doesn't exactly have the ability to steal abilities, but at the very least they can make it so if you take a stock with Spark, he finds an ability box. Make it random for all I care. Go wild. I think Spark the Electric Jester would be an excellent addition to the Fraymakers cast. Cuphead was another major game that was on everyone's wish list for Smash Ultimate. He made it in, but as a Mii Fighter costume. Cuphead is another major contender for biggest indie game of all time, and if Fraymakers can get the little mugman in to wallop some fools, that would be a big draw and a huge part of Fraymakers' potential success. Fraymakers needs zoners. Sue me. Zoners are important to any fighting game. I know a lot of people don't like playing against zoners, but at the moment, they have a grappler and 3 rushdowns. Where are my zoner bros at? Come on. Cuphead is the perfect pick for a zoner. His regular jab will be his pea shooter, one of his specials will change what shot does what. Easy stuff so far. His nair could be a parry that functions identical to how it functions in regular Cuphead, even bouncing off of projectiles that come his way. You can give him a meter for his EX moves, which buffs all of his other specials. You could even incorporate stuff from the Cuphead cartoon. I haven't watched it, so I have no idea what's there, but I think it would be cool. Or, you know, you could just make each special a different projectile. Creativity is dead. Cuphead for Fraymakers. Henry Stickmin is hilarious, plain and simple. Potentially the biggest point-and-click game out there, the moveset possibilities are literally endless. Every move can be functional, and a reference to something in his game. You will never run out of potential moveset ideas for him because every single time he moves in his game, you can do something new. He can fit any mold you need for your game. You could also just make him like Hero from Smash Ultimate. His down special could just be 50 different attacks that all serve some kind of niche purpose. You can cry about RNG all you want in your fighting game, but guess what? Fuck you. This idea is great. I also just really want the distraction to insta be his taunt. Henry Stickmin for Fraymakers. This next choice is a little bit strange, I'll be honest. When I first heard of this game, I was very confused. I mean, a My Little Pony fighting game turned into an original IP? What in the goddamn? But if you actually sit down and play Them's Fighting Herds, you'll understand why it's on my list. The main character of the story mode, Arizona, could be exactly what this game needs in the form of a grappler and a traditional fighter rep. Her lasso alone could be a character. Arizona's headbutt could be a cool shield breaker move, alongside being able to rip pretty much the majority of her moves straight out of her kit from her actual game. Them's Fighting Herds is easily the best story mode I've ever played, teaching you how to fight against each individual type of fighting game character. We should celebrate games that try to break the mold and put effort where no effort has gone before. Fraymakers should represent all of the beautiful and quality games that make up indie games. In my opinion, Them's Fighting Herds is the perfect representative for traditional fighting games. That is why I think Arizona would be a great addition to the cast. I am not a brony. Arizona for Fraymakers. I know I said Spark the Electric Jester is my top pick for Fraymakers, and I wasn't lying. But if Candyman from Lethal League got announced tomorrow, I would pop off with the power of 10 Hungry Boxes. The gimmick alone would absolutely shatter the mold when it comes to platform fighting character gimmicks. You think Rivals has cool gimmicks for its characters? Get the fuck out of here. Candyman is the way to go. Simply put, he spawns a Lethal League ball center stage and uses that to combo. He uses that to edgeguard. He gets hit with it, etc, etc. A lot of his neutrals could easily be ripped from his game, and his specials could all just involve his ball. Even if Fraymakers is dead within a year of coming out, people will still look at Candyman and go, yeah, I'm down to play a few. A character like Candyman will keep bringing people back to Fraymakers due to the endless potential that a character like this offers. Candyman gets announced, then I am a day one Candyman main. Too much potential to not be considered. Candyman for Fraymakers. Katana Zero is one of my favorite games, plain and simple. It's a game like Hotline Miami in the sense that all you do is run and gun, but my god is it fun. It's a heartfelt adventure from start to finish, a game like no other, emotional gut punch after emotional gut punch. And at the center of it all is Zero. Zero could function as a regular sortie. Exciting, I know, but there are no sorties in Fraymakers at the moment, so I think it'd be fine. What separates Zero from other potential sorties is his game mechanics. Give Zero Bayonetta Witch Time. Make Zero have the ability to reflect projectiles with his jabs. Give Zero the keys to my heart because good lord has he earned it. Sure, a lot of his attacks would be generic sword attacks, but that's fine. Not every character needs to be entirely unique. Sometimes it's just best to have a character that anyone can pick up because it's similar to a different game. A comfort character akin to Mario from Smash. Also, I really want his taunt to be his dance from the nightclub levels. Zero for Fraymakers. This is my last choice for Fraymakers. In all honesty, I feel like if this game wants to be successful, they need this character. This is without a doubt the most successful indie game since Minecraft, the most recognizable and relatable character in indie game history. If Fraymakers wants to be successful, then they need Sans from Undertale. You can implement him in two ways, realistically. Option A is the Super Smash Bros. Way. Compromise on gameplay elements from the source game in order to make a fluid gameplay experience. Or option B, the more fun one. If you hit Sans, he's dead. Plain and simple. Make him the ultimate zoner. All the tools in the world, a great shield, his Gaster blasters, this and that. But if you hit him once, he's dead. All of his specials and neutrals are there to make sure you can't touch him. The ultimate execution character. Unstoppable if you are perfect, but if you mess up once, you could lose your stock. From a business point of view, they get the funny skeleton in, so many people are going to tune in to see what their favorite bag of bones is doing in this game. Not to mention that if Fraymakers is a celebration of indie games as a whole, then they would be amiss to not include one of the biggest indie games of all time. We all remember when we first found out what EXP meant in the Undertale universe. We all remembered the date with Papyrus, and we all remembered how much of a banger Megalovania is. We will all remember that time where that one Smash clone got Sans as a playable character. Fraymakers needs Sans. So that's it. That's my list of roster predictions. I've been working on this video on and off for a few months now, to the point where Fish Boujon is about to release. I really hope Fraymakers turns out to be successful, and I've been playing SSF2 for a long time. It's a game that's very important to me despite its flaws. I really do want Fraymakers to succeed, and I really want McLeod Gaming to succeed as a whole, because of the amount of time I've already spent on SSF2 and Fraymakers. I love these games, and I think it would just be an exciting time if we can get a community to predict who's next, to predict what comes in next, what characters should be in the game, what stages, what assists. What does this game need to be successful, aside from these characters? And I'd love to have people I can talk about with that. So, if you have any ideas, if you have any character picks that you would rather have instead of Katana Zero or Candyman, let me know in the comments. If you have ideas for stages and assists, I'd love to hear it. Maybe potential game modes and unique quality of life changes that no other Smash game has. Let me know. If this video gets enough traction and feedback, I'll follow it up. I'll make a second prediction video. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.